All right, welcome in. First Friday Miracle Edition as we do it live. Merely Bo, the great. We kind of match.
We do.
It was unintentional.
Yeah.
Golf hoodies,
white and a blue coming together.
White.
You opted for shorts. I wore shorts yesterday. Today I went with my
a pant, nice pant.
A little blue pant. Yeah.
I'm trying to get as much short work in as I can, knowing
I
Gibby's, knowing that 100%. It's coming. I'm trying to get as much short work in as I can. It's a mentality more than anything else.
Yep. So is this. I'm going back to the Sneed right here. Little fedora.
That's gorgeous. I love that.
Slammer.
I love that. That's a very
It's a good logo. It's a good logo.
I'll tell you what. It's a tough gig. If you can find something in your history that's old, that's unique, because in the old days I think we did things a little bit more unique. We were talking about the NFL uniforms the other day, about how they had the different shades of oranges and blues and all of that. A little bit more unique. Now everything's group thought, and so much of the stuff looks the same. So when you see something like that, it's an attention getter.
That's right.
It's an attention getter. Deshaun Watson going to be at the podium momentarily. We will carry that for you live once that happens. A couple things in terms of who is on the practice field, who is not today, not practicing today. Grant Delpit, Dante Foreman, Ronnie Hickman, James Hudson, Charlie Hewlett as well, Ethan Posick, and Denzel Ward on the not practicing list. On the practicing list, Jed and Jack.
Okay, hold on a second. Delpit, Hickman.
It's on the screen for you.
Delpit, Hickman.
Correct.
Hudson, Hewlett. So this is just a question, and I don't know if we have the answer to this. Does that mean people who are eligible to return from IR are any of them? So a Mo Hurst, a Tony Fields, a Mahmoud Diabate, a Juan Thornhill.
We will have more on that. This period here, walkthrough just ended.
Okay.
Practice starts around 2. There are a number of transactions pending here that are going to be finalized in the next 2 hours on that.
Just spill the beans.
That's what I was told.
I mean, come on. Don't sit here and be like, look, I know all the stuff you guys don't know. Just tell us, spill the beans.
Give it. Spill the beans.
That's what I asked. I was just downstairs.
Why did you just say it?
All right. I asked a pretty direct question. Gibby's gone to coaching a PR school, apparently.
No, I just said, I was trying to give you a timeline. That's exactly what was told to me. There are a couple things. They're signing some guys. There's some things happening right now.
Do you remember the episode of Seinfeld when Kramer's phone number crossed paths with movie phone? And he started
reached movie phone.
Yeah, and he would do the thing, and then he would hit 1 for this, and then he could never figure it out. So he goes, "Well, why don't you just tell me what movie you'd like to see?" That's a little what that was like. Well, why don't you just tell us what's going to happen with the transactions, Gibby?
Yeah.
So we'll get that sorted out.
I don't have them, unfortunately.
All right, there you go. Jack and Jed are practicing. So that's good.
It's good. It'd be great to see Jack Conklin out there. DeJuan, give him a chance maybe to get his body right. I think Michael Dunn came back last week. I think you have to wonder, does he get an opportunity at right guard? Zach Zinner, tough welcome to the NFL. I mean, you get Christian Wilkins, and then you end up getting Deron Payne and Jonathan Elmo. No easier this week with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. So you wonder if maybe you get a veteran back there. But those will be some of the things that will be interesting to see, I think, for the Cleveland Browns this week. And like I said, you also wonder, are we going to – I think we got to get a little juice in the return game. Does Nyheim Hines come back? A wild card name I'll throw out there that has been on our practice squad but under the radar, I know is hurtful. Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tremendous athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Do we try to spruce some things up there? Because we've got roster spots that are open.
Yeah.
So you've got Mo Hurst, who could come back at defensive tackle. I mentioned Diabate, Tony Fields at linebacker, Thornhill at safety. Although we've heard nothing about him.
Zero. Not a word.
No idea. No. Nick Chubbs is in his practice window. Nyheim Hines is in his practice window. And then, Tony's a guy on the practice squad that you wonder about. Jeff Swaim, maybe he gets a spot as well. He's been up all the time. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens with each transactions here. And I have a feeling that I have a lot of spots left blank on our boards because I
see that. Normally the boards are pretty in good spot at this, but there's a lot of unknowns out there, Coach.
There are a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
So
I don't think, to your point on Nyheim Hines and Kadarius Toney, I don't think that you can just run everything back Sunday in Philly.
No, you can't.
You cannot do that. So, and now I don't expect Kevin to be down there, and we'll play his comments for you at 2:00 from earlier today. But I don't expect him to go down there and say, "Here are the changes I'm making." I don't sense him going to give those things to you or make those public. But I also think the notion of just keep running this back out makes zero sense. The success has not been there. We've seen enough of it. It's been several games. It's not a one-game issue. It's not an aberration. Like, this is who you are. So you need to change who you are to elicit a different result, and that needs to start this Sunday because this thing is already in free fall.
Yeah. Yes, this is – execution obviously is such a large part of the National Football League, don't get me wrong. But there are things going on here that are more significant. Gibbe, one thing I did want to ask you from that walkthrough list, a name that I did not see on there, and I mean this in a good way, was I did not see Jordan Hicks's name, right?
Correct.
So he will be back.
In some capacity, I would assume today. Yes.
So that would be most excellent. Okay. Okay.
There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things going on. It was a busy downstairs.
Well, spill the beans, Gibbe.
Well, why don't you just tell us what transactions they're going to make?
Yeah, Gibbe.
Why don't you press 1?
I'd like that. Well, what transactions do you want to hear about? All of them.
For Chunnel? Weren't they always trying to see Chunnel?
Chunnel.
I think that was one of the movies. What was the one with the, oh my gosh, from Milan to Minsk? There was the, oh my gosh.
Were there jackets?
I
was that the poncho?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the movies that they were always seeing. There was always like Death Blow was one, Chunnel.
Unfrosted 2.
There was one. There was one where a young girl from Milan to Minsk.
Well, you made a long journey from Milan to Minsk.
Yeah, what was
with Rochelle?
Rochelle.
What's
another one?
With Bette Midler, right?
I don't remember.
Was that Bette Midler in the softball incident?
Seinfeld's Rochelle.
No. That's when she
journey
was
from Milan to Minsk.
I think Bette Midler was on Broadway, and that's when George was dating the understudy, or Jerry was dating the
Kramer
understudy.
takes care of Bette Midler, the understudy.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then George took her out at a play at the plate. Was the idea there? Yeah, that's solid. There's so many layers to that show.
Weren't they at the Chinese restaurant?
Yeah, they were trying to get
Jerry and friends are trying to meet up to see the movie Checkmate. They get split up, can't get in the movie, and 3 of them end up going to see Rochelle instead. However, the ditch movie partway through. Then it says later in season 6, in The Understudy, featured a Broadway musical adaptation of Rochelle starring Bette Midler, who appeared in the episode. The episode's plot is inspired by the Nancy Kerrigan attack.
Yeah,
Jerry
that's right.
is dating Midler's understudy. The softball game between his favorite comedies club and the team of the Rochelle cast members. Midler is injured, and people accuse Jerry of masterminding the event so his girlfriend could go on.
Like Jeff Galooly.
Well, you made a long journey from Milan to Minsk, Rochelle. You never stopped hoping. Now you're in a Pinsk, Rochelle. When the naysayers neigh, you picked up your pace. You said, nothing's going to stop me, so get out of my face. I'm having adventures all over the place. Rochelle.
So good. So good. The only thing that wrecks that for the because my oldest he likes The Office. He's into that for sure. We did the what's the one with Jason Bateman and and Michael Cera and the Bluths. Arrested Development. Loved Arrested Development. He absolutely loved the first couple of seasons of that. And
I never watched that show.
Oh my God, the first couple seasons are incredible.
Yes,
dude, you die.
I think it died because of the writer's strike. Didn't it?
It wasn't that popular either. It actually got popular later. It started to replay on HD Net when that was first a cable channel.
Doesn't that have the guy who's the dad?
George Bluth is unbelievable.
Who's the
Job?
The guy who's
Job,
the dad in Wedding Crashers, or not Wedding Crashers? The dad in
Hangover.
Yes.
Yeah. He's the main dad.
Yeah,
he's great. No, it's the first 2 or 3 seasons of it are spectacular. Your kids would like it. It's on Netflix, I believe.
Okay,
that's very good. But the one thing on Seinfeld, the 2 things that get him are the laugh track. Like, he's not used to a laugh track because that was something that we did away with. I think probably with The Office they stopped having laugh tracks. But at those days, everything had a laugh track. And then like he doesn't. My kids aren't none of our kids are in a world where they didn't have cell phones.
No.
Like, cell phones would have solved 90% of their problems.
Yeah.
It was all miscommunication, misunderstanding and miscommunication.
I believe QB1's on his way to the
Is he on his way?
So Kevin will cue you.
And Beamsy got his cell phone for his birthday on Monday. That was his big wish. So I don't know if I do or not, but anyway, it's where we are. And he said, well, when did you get your first cell phone, Dad? And I said, college. I did not have one until college. That was the first time. And it was a plug-in suitcase one.
You know what I had in high school?
What's that?
A
Zach?
beeper.
Of course you had a beeper.
I had a pager, bro.
Nobody had no pager where I was.
I had a beeper. Do you have a pager, Gibby?
I didn't have a pager. I didn't have a beeper.
Nothing.
My first cell phone was the purse phone.
Yeah.
My first job
I
at
had a
Q104
beeper.
after college.
Yeah, and you text 143 to your honey.
They handed me this. I was going out on a remote. They're like, here you go. I'm like, what is this?
What do you do with this?
This doesn't fit in a pocket.
No, it does not.
Do you know 143, Gibby? If you page somebody 143?
No, I don't even. I've never heard of that. I never had a pager.
One letter.
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
4 letters.
Oh, baby.
Love. 3 letters.
Jeez.
YOU. You.
I cannot wait to
143, baby.
I'm gonna
and
drop
then it'd be
that.
like bzz, bzz.
Oh, baby.
143.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop that on NBC. Say, dude, you dropping any 143s on any of your ladies?
Yeah.
You're risen up on Snapchat?
I'll tell you another one off the air.
Oh, I look forward to that. Deshaun Watson approaching the podium. Is he approaching the podium?
Is it a long walk?
Yes.
Matriculating to the podium?
Kev,
comes.
All right. Are we there, Kev?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Here's Watson at the podium.
You're down. He was taking his time to walk there.
Things that you're doing to try to take it up a notch?
Just settle in, master the game plan, execute what the defense is going to try to do to us. Of course, we got to be able to, adapt to any adjustments and changes. Those guys, in Philly had an off week, so they had time to, kind of put some things together. So we just got to be able to follow our base rules, base core, and then adjust and make sure that, if any change-ups that they throw at us, we got to be ready for it and try to, execute at the highest level to, get some positive and play winning football.
Hey, Deshaun, when you self-assess, your performance both against Washington and the previous games before that, where do you see the biggest areas where you feel like you're just not playing to the standard that you feel like you need to play to?
Just overall, just leading this whole offense. I think everything just got to, mesh in place at the right time and things got to be in the same pace. I feel like there's been opportunities for us to be able to, play winning football and hit the open guy. Maybe there was one or two things that were kind of off track that didn't, capitalize, and we didn't capitalize on that. And then there's been some times where, as a quarterback and misreading some things or, second guessing some things, but at the same time, I think that's, part of just getting the reps and part of watching film and trying to, find ways to get better each and every week. And each week is a new opportunity for us and for myself to be able to try to find out those things that, I need to get better at to try to simplify the game as much as possible.
In the Washington game Sunday, there was a feeling that something's got to change because whatever you guys were doing hasn't been working. So is something changing this week?
We're adjusting to a lot of different things within the offense and the way we do things. But we're making adjustments and trying to find ways to be better.
Deshaun, after the game, Washington's Jonathan Allen said on a radio show that it looked like you weren't confident. What do you have to say to that?
Every time I step on the field, I just got to be able to go out there and play confident football and just go out there and do my job at the highest ability. And, that's his, perspective and things like that. I played against Jonathan Allen multiple times within college and in the NFL. So, but at the same time, when I step on the field, I am confident, and I just want to go out there and just try to play the best football I can play.
When you have the protection issues that you've had, do you not have time to see the whole field?
I mean, we just have to continue to be better overall, all of us. Know where my highs, know where my reads, know where my outlets are. In that situation. But I have a lot of confidence in those guys up front that each and every week we're going to continue to improve. And I got to be right there with them. And we got to be on the same page within that. So it's just depending on the route concepts and the scheme and what we were trying to do.
I asked you Sunday if you thought Dorsey should be calling plays, and you said that's a Kevin question. So I asked him, and he said nothing's going to change in that regard. Your reaction?
I mean, we believe in Kevin. Kevin's doing play calls for multiple years in this league. 2-time head coach while doing the play calling. So there's no faith or love lost in Kevin calling plays. We think he's the best play caller in the league. So at the same time, as overall and as the leader of this offense, I got to make sure everybody's around so we can execute those plays that he's calling, so we can show that he is that guy that we believe in, and that the world and that the NFL world knows that he's one of the best play callers in this game.
Deshaun, when you look at the Eagles' defense, especially their defensive line, what kind of challenges do they present you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big physical front, fast, athletic, and they just try to create as much destruction as they possibly can to get to the quarterback in the run game. So definitely another challenge for us to be able to go out there, and it's going to be fun for us to be able to go compete with those guys, because that's a fun group to compete with.
The play that everyone keeps citing or using or circulating on the internet this week is the one where you took the sack and Jerry was open in the end zone.
Correct.
What did you see or not see on that play? Is that one that you would like to have back?
Of course, yeah. I mentioned that. I don't know if I mentioned it after the game, but as far as with the team, yeah, out of all the plays, that's definitely one. It was just one of the times that I missed Jerry. I was, it was I don't want to give the route away, but it was a route that he had different options for, and I second guessed it and kind of predetermined where he was going to go, and I stepped up. Bobby Wagner did a good job, came and I fumbled it, and they recovered it. So yeah, it's definitely a play that I see. But I mean, as this position, no one's perfect. No one's going to always make the right read. So you can pick, one play here and there. But I think it's the body of work of the whole game. And I think for me to be able to lead this offense to where we want to go and what we expect is just making sure that each and every play is within itself, and not try to get the 21 points. I can't remember how much we were down by, but try to get all of it back at once, doing too much. And I take full responsibility of that. There's going to be plays that happen like that. Every quarterback has that. So,
Deshaun, you talk so much about blocking out the noise, and 1 and 4 in the offensive struggles. It's getting pretty loud. National guys criticizing you. So how do you go about continuing to block that out?
I just continue to. First off, I don't hear it. I don't see it. So I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on any social media or things like that. So anytime that stuff comes up, the only time I first hear it is either you guys are bringing it up or somebody else outside, and I just don't know who it's coming from. So that's one thing. And then also it's a new opportunity. It's a new week. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys are seeing it from a different perspective. We know what we need to do internally, and that's the difference, is being able to be the best that I can be within the offense and within the team. And knowing that the guys and the coaches in this locker room knowing exactly what I'm doing with my job. And, sometimes it goes our way, sometimes it doesn't. So, I mean, for the outside people and the media, yeah, it might be loud. But for myself, I got to make sure I'm locked in and trying to do whatever I can to get all of us on the same page to play winning football.
Deshaun, the Eagles' defense has given up some explosive plays. So, and you talked after the game about wanting to be an explosive offense and finding that balance between the run and the pass game. How do you find that balance? I guess what's kind of the key to finding that?
I think it starts with just being positive. I mean, we got to have positive plays and finding that rhythm within the game to know when we need to pass and when we need to run the ball. And, the shots are going to present itself, and we just got to be ready for it. And not just one person, not just the quarterback, not just the receiver and the quarterback don't see the shots of what the play me and Mary Kay was talking about. But, we just all just got to see and make sure, because, this year especially, it's hard to get those plays downfield, and teams are taking that away. So, you just got to find that balance within the team, find that rhythm, and whenever they present each other or itself, we got to make sure we take advantage of it.
Hey, Deshaun, the latest civil lawsuit got resolved off the field. Are you confident that there won't be any punishment from the league?
I'm just taking my advice from all my legal team and everyone else. I have to take it one day at a time. I haven't spoken to the NFL or anything like that. I was just taking my, legal counsel advice, and then I'm focusing on just trying to be the best quarterback for this team so we can get back on the winning track.
Teammates, what kind of feedback are you getting from your teammates? What kind of support? What are they telling you about how things have gone so far?
They're just telling me that, hey, you still one of the top guys in this league. Believe that. Have that confidence when you step on the field. Lead us, to where we need to go. We all support you. We all, are motivated for what you bring to the table. We know that things got to click overall. Everything got to work in place. So, all those guys is making sure that I'm keeping my head up, keeping, staying locked in and focused, and not getting down on myself and not being too hard on myself. And at the end of the day, I just have to continue to just put in that work and trust them, trust myself, and go out there and perform at a high level.
I think after the game, you said something about we have to find out what we're good at and kind of perfect that. Mm-hmm. Have you guys been able to identify some things offensively you can lean into for a game plan, or for just going into a weekend that okay, we do these things really well and let's concentrate on those?
Yeah, we definitely, that goes back to what we were speaking on earlier, is just kind of just finding those adjustments, finding those things that we, want to do and be perfect at those. And just make the game simple. Don't try to do anything more than what we seen before or what we trying to do. We just simplify the game as much as possible so we can go out there, execute, and play fast and not put too much thinking into the game.
So do you feel like in this past game, because you were coming off a really good game against the Raiders, in this Washington game, do you think you sort of slipped into trying to do a little bit too much or a little bit more than you needed to do?
You can say that. You can say I was trying to do too much, trying to make the big plays, trying to, create things where I didn't need to create things. But at the same time, it's just the flow of the game and how the game kind of goes. They got up on us fast, and we were trying to get back in the game as soon as possible. Because in the NFL, you can't. Every rep and every possession that you have is very important. And I think that we just got to simplify it and just take it one play at a time. We got to concentrate and lock in, and just have that confidence on that play that we're going to be, give 110%, and then we'll worry about the next play when it comes.
Playing with so much swagger, and it seems like this year you guys are kind of not timid, but kind of a little tentative, especially in your guys' personalities, not shining through as much. Do you feel like there needs to be an attitude change within that locker room to get this turnaround?
No, I don't think it needs to be an attitude change. I just think that we just got to win. And that's what it is. No one wants to. You can't bring any swagger. You can't talk any. You can't talk or say anything if you're losing. We're 1-4 right now. So, right now we got to lock in on the game. But once we get on, that winning track and things will start turning and the arrow start going up, then you can, kind of have that swagger and fun. But at the same time, each and every week, you got to put the wins and losses to the side, and you got to try to be 1-0 that week. So there is some type of, confidence and booster that you got to have, stepping on the field and have your own swagger. You can't change yourself regardless of what is going on around you. But at the same time, that winning do bring out that ooze and that aura within the team.
Early on at the Greenbrier, when you guys were installing everything, it seemed like there was a lot of more up-tempo stuff. So what is preventing that from being in on Sundays?
It's just the rhythm of the game, I would think. I think this is more of, the coaches, kind of question, but I think, just if I had to answer, just the rhythm of the game, we got to catch that flow. We got to stay positive. We got to get a first down on the first drive, or, when we P&10, we got to get that first down before we can catch that rhythm. And, we just got to make sure we do that before we can, play on the ball and play up tempo.
Good.
Thank you.
All All right, there you go. Your quarterback, Deshaun Watson, live from the podium. Those are your hot topics of the day. Hot topics of the day presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Go around the league coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Boost your game day this season with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Place your first bet of $50 or more. You can get $150 back in bonus bets. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to head around the league, presented by Leaf Filter. Leaf Filter, the official gutter guard of your Cleveland Browns. I think we have to start with the Jets, right?
Yeah. I'd say so. Oh, dude, I told you first SWAC of the season. Catalog season is here. Catalog season's here.
My God.
Look, a nice little. We got a little chukka down here.
Look at the layers.
Look at a suede.
A chukka.
Come on, the SWAC it.
Oh, the
first
big.
Of the year.
Oh,
first
please.
Of the year. First of the year.
Holy cow.
First of the year.
Is he going to a clam bake?
I don't know.
Is there a bonfire with some whiskey?
Browns by $1 billion.
Oh my God. That is I wasn't prepared.
Oh, I was. I'd seen
You'd
it earlier.
seen it earlier, so you knew.
My anticipation for the moment of you seeing it was off the charts.
I mean, I was looking over here. Pedman's in here, and I see him walking by, and I go, my God, and then, jeez, I don't know. That could have been some sort of a wax jacket, even a wax swacket. I don't know.
It was like a
mole hair, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Gosh. That was a delight. Okay, Jets. Do you believe Aaron Rodgers?
No.
So, folks, if you're just missing it, Rodgers is on McAfee about an hour ago.
So first he heard of it.
And first he'd heard of it, categorically denied. Listen, I think what we're dealing with here are semantics.
Yeah.
This is my guess how, and I actually thought like Florio kind of went at him for this, which I didn't even think made any sense. He says it might be true that Aaron Rodgers did not get Robert Saleh fired, but he could have prevented it. Is it the quarterback's job to prevent coaches from being fired if ownership wants to fire them? I think all of this is the way that you and I laid it out when we initially heard this, but at the same time, like it's not Rodgers' job to save a coach if an owner wants to fire him.
Absolutely not.
That's nonsense.
Number two, the smoking gun, or to me, what I would find the most interesting factoid of the whole situation is that Saleh had removed Nathaniel Hackett from calling plays 5 minutes before he got fired out of nowhere. If you're getting fired that day, are you even allowed to have a meeting with your coaches?
No.
So he comes in, he has a meeting with the coaches. He demotes Nathaniel Hackett.
Did we get that far that he did demote him or that he wanted to?
No, that he did.
Oh, we got that he
not that he was firing him, but that he was
getting rid
just
of play
removing
calling.
it. And Todd Downing, I think, was going to become the play caller.
Okay.
And then 5 minutes after that, he was fired.
Okay. So there's that's all the smoking gun you need right there. I missed that part about how that actually took place.
Yeah. Here,
all right, so he does demote Hackett. At what point, 5 minutes later, he's gone. Well, that would make more sense on a Tuesday firing versus a Monday, by the way, as well.
At a meeting on Tuesday morning, Saleh informed the coaching staff that passing game coordinator Todd Downing would become the game day play caller, with offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett being demoted. Hackett wasn't being fired in the classic sense, but it was going to be his decision to whether he stayed or not. Then, after that meeting, Saleh found out he was being fired in the classic sense. It's unclear whether the timing is just coincidental or connected. Regardless, Hackett was out as the play caller, and then Saleh was out as the coach.
There you
so
go.
why, if you're firing him, why does he have that meeting with his coaches?
Right.
You would fire him and then be like, if you want to tell your coaches,
Yep.
which they didn't even give him the courtesy of.
No.
It was like he was thrown out of the building. But he was allowed in the building to meet with the coaches and make this move.
And then 5 minutes later, he's gone.
Escorted out by security, doesn't even get to address his team.
Yeah. Yep. So when Rodgers goes on McAfee and says what he says,
I think he is a known.
He operates in the gray.
He is a known.
He loves to operate in the
bender
gray.
of the truth and hide behind semantics.
Yes. Yeah. And then argue the semantics.
Yes.
That he's hiding behind. Yeah. Either way, it's a mess. Absolutely a mess there. And the reality, it's funny, I was talking to Tyvus this morning, Tyvus Powell, of course, you hear him on the radio network all the time. And he was talking about Saleh because he was the defensive coordinator when Tyvus was with the 49ers. And he said that he was in, like, he talked to Sherm and a lot of these guys who were with the Niners at that time in that secondary and said, look, like, Saleh was the most straightforward, upright, upstanding dude you could find. Incredible motivator, great defensive mind. He goes, I don't say that. I had a lot of defensive coordinators that didn't know anything. This guy was not that. Like, this guy was locked in. He was a motivator. He was all of those things. And I told him
it was Stefanski or Saleh for this job.
For this job, yeah. When you and I had that conversation about that minicamp press conference he had, and then you start to do the reading on it, and it seems like that's when it flipped.
When he kind of buried Rodgers for going to Egypt.
Yeah, when he said that they didn't really know about it, and was it excused, was it not excused, and then all that nonsense, and that was kind of the turning point of the relationship, and the rest, as it were, is history.
Yeah.
In that division, speaking of quarterback news, Drake May officially the starter in New England. Would you do that if you were their ownership?
Yeah, I mean,
they're bad. There's no one to throw to, and he's going to take a beating.
You got to at least give him a few games. You got to give him some reps.
It really, he's going to get a lot of games. It really is it's kind of up to the quarterback in the position that they're in, because some guys Peyton Manning thrived by playing and throwing a lot of picks and making a bunch of mistakes, but how much of that was just the fact that he was Peyton Manning? How much of what Mahomes was because he sat a year And how much of it would they have been a year ahead of schedule if they'd have played him as a rookie? You just don't know because every situation is unique.
Every situation is unique. And I would say that if you look at the offensive line situation for Caleb Williams, it's no good.
No.
And now he has got talented people to throw the football to, but it took him a while, and now he's getting better. It's not like C.J. Stroud had a great offensive line situation last year. Sometimes you got to just – and at that point, Nico Collins was going into that season. Nico Collins wasn't Nico Collins. Tank Dell was a rookie. They didn't have Stephon Diggs. It's not like you're like, oh, man, they have all these weapons.
No.
Better than, obviously, what you've got in New England.
Where they have none. They don't really have anything.
Well, that's on them.
Yeah, it is. It is on them. And it goes to that thing of, like, do you pick the quarter? Like, did they love Drake May so much that they had to pick him? This is Elliott Wolf who made the pick. This was huge on the Hard Knocks with the Giants, how they were trying to see if they could get him off of that pick.
Yep.
Did you like Drake May so much that you could put him in the worst quarterback position? It's so much worse than Caleb, so much worse than Jaden Daniels, so much worse than Bo Nix. There isn't anybody that is a rookie quarterback who the situation is worse than in New England. It's very similar to the Bryce Young one, where there's nothing. There's nothing there. And he didn't play a lot at Carolina either. May didn't. I think he's a 2-year starter. Yeah, 2. So he's got 2 years. That's not bad. But this is a tough spot.
Yeah.
Really
it's gonna be tough.
spot
But, I mean, even with, like, Bo Nix, for example, it didn't start off
well, he still isn't that great, but they're winning.
Last week he played a little bit better. I just think you got to get him the reps. Is it a tough situation he's going to? No doubt. There's no doubt it's a tough situation. But the great ones, after time, will elevate their situation around them.
Yeah,
so
that's what you got to
that's
do.
what he can do.
No Devontae Adams this weekend for the Raiders. He's sitting. Just trade him.
Just trade him.
Sort it
man.
out.
What are we
like,
doing?
what are you waiting on? Who are you waiting on?
Jets?
I guess.
Don't you feel like? I mean, now we know it's pretty clear who's run that organization. So
correct. Yeah, I don't. That one's wild. I wondered about Houston for Adams. You saw the Nico Collins to IR.
Yeah, I saw it.
He hadn't until I told him this morning.
Receiving.
Gibbe told me this morning. I was not happy.
I thought Z might be on the ground pounding his fists and like kicking things.
Well, aside from your fantasy team, it's an incredible loss for Houston. They were different dramatically offensively when he went out of the game against Buffalo. So they still have Tank Dell. They still have some weapons, but their Mixon went out. They have Diggs. Mixon was good early, and then he's been hurt. It's a big blow for them when you're talking about losing Nico Collins. And right now they're 4-1.
Yes, they most certainly are, aren't they? They most certainly are. I think that hurts. Not only, obviously, if you have Nico, but if you're somebody who's got C.J. Stroud as well.
How does it hurt them as a football team over the next 4 weeks?
Significantly so.
Yeah.
They hopefully will get Mixon back this week, right?
Haven't seen anything on him.
I think that's the hope.
Was that the hope that they would? Yeah.
I mean, how does Nico go from day to day to week to IR in 24 hours?
No, I don't know. I mean, it's similar to what happened to McCaffrey. McCaffrey went to – he may play to –
Let's just calm down. This is just a hamstring strain here.
Next thing you know, he's
let's calm down.
Dealing with horse placenta in Dusseldorf.
Let's calm down. Stop it. I will not allow you to speak that ill.
Derek Carr has an oblique injury.
Yeah,
Spencer Rattler could get the go.
Great name.
He was a
great name.
He was bounced around college football. At one point, he was the number one recruit in the quarterback recruit in the country. Went to Oklahoma, then ended up at South Carolina. Trying to think who beat him out at Oklahoma. He would have been the one that would have been in line to follow. Oh, it was Caleb Williams. He would have been the one who was in line to follow Kyler. But Caleb Williams came in as a true freshman and beat him out. Goes to South Carolina. He was on the show called was it QBU on Amazon, and he was widely despised.
Yeah, he was a
Spencer. He was a jerk,
punk,
He's
a real
punk.
crud.
He really was. So he may get the chance to start for New Orleans. That season's fallen apart pretty quickly, Coach, after that start.
No doubt.
Devin White, our guy, released. Come on home. Come on home, baby. Bring the steed. All I ever wanted to do is ride down Lou Groza with him.
How is he released? He didn't play by the Eagles,
and
right?
He was
didn't
released
play
by
at
the
all.
Eagles. No, and Sirianni praised him today in his ultimate professional and all of that stuff. Only thing I think is just can't get healthy.
I think he is healthy, isn't he?
But he wasn't active, never played. I don't know. Come on home.
26. Why not?
Yeah.
Take a shot.
Take a shot.
Good news. We're high on the waiver priority.
That's also true.
Although he's probably a free agent, right? He's 26. He's not on his rookie deal. He's probably
No, yeah, he'd be free agent.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he already got a second contract. He got the second contract in Tampa, didn't he?
Let's look it up.
Feels like he did.
If he would still be there if he got a second contract. So Devin White had a 1 year, $4 million, 3.5 guaranteed is what he just signed, and then his rookie deal was 4 years, 29.3. So he just completely fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, because he was really good for Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl with
he was
Brady.
Incredible in that game.
Yeah, him and Levante David were everywhere.
They wrecked the whole game. So he was a Pro Bowler in 2021. In 2022, he had 124 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries, 5 passes defense, 2 forced fumbles. Last year, in 14 games, he had 2 picks, 6 passes defense, 2.5 sacks, 83 tackles. I mean, certainly feels like he can play.
Yeah, strange.
Maybe he asked to be released. I mean, this was the 5th overall pick in the 2019 draft at LSU. He's 26.
Yeah, I don't know. Strange.
Very strange.
All right, speaking of the Eagles, we will meet them coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. When a medical mistake causes you injury, call the medical malpractice attorneys at 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Elk and Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. We have those roster moves now. We have placed Charlie Hewitt on injured reserve. We've signed to the active roster Rex Sunahara, Jeff Swaim, the tight end, designated to return to practice. Mo Hurst and Mohamed Diabate signed to the practice squad. Trey Dean and Marcus Haynes. So those are your corresponding moves from your Cleveland Browns, Dr. Z.
Yeah, and I think still some moves to come would be my guess. Mo Hurst, you still have spots open on the active roster because Hewlett to IR, Sunahara, that takes that spot. You cut 3 people yesterday, Swaim's up, so there, by my calculation, still 2 roster spots, which could be the returning Diabate, could be the returning Mo Hurst as well. And then we don't know no information, it feels like, Gibbe, and correct me if I'm wrong, about Mike Hall, who was eligible to be back this week.
I thought I saw him at walkthrough.
Yeah, it's a good point though. Like he was designated for return, or the suspension was done. Yeah.
Do they have to? Well,
I don't think they have to say anything per se, but
no. But you'd think you'd see him around because he was going to be a guy who was going to make an impact.
You think you'd hear something, right?
Sure.
So that's the question: does he getting reinstated right into the active roster? So that could be one of those spots because right now he was not occupying an active roster spot.
Time to meet your Philadelphia Eagles. They are 2-2 on the season. Their head coach is Nick Sirianni. He is 36-19 in his 4th season now, 4th year in Philly, 3 years prior to that on the head coaching front and the offensive coordinator at Indianapolis. So there you go.
Very good interpretation by you right there.
Very good in real term because it's when it says fighting, I thought maybe it could have been Irish, but of course I knew that it was not. We lead the all-time series 32-17-1. The last meeting we won in our own hometown, 22-17. Last time out, Philly was bombed at Tampa Bay, 33-16. In the offensive rankings, they are 8th overall in the league, 5th in rushing, 17th in passing. Defense, they are 27th overall, 21st in rushing, 24th in passing. It's a bad unit. Turnover differential is a -6. For more on the Philadelphia Eagles, Dr. Z.
Look, this is a team with a lot of talent on it. Now, you have to understand, as they sit here at 2-2, they've done so without A.J. Brown, their leading receiver, over the last 2 seasons. Since he's been out since week 1, Devonta Smith missed week 3. They're dangerous, though. A.J. Brown, back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons. Devonta Smith's a 1,000-yard receiver. You've got Dallas Goedert right now, I think, who leads all tight ends in receiving yards. He's right there with Brock Bowers. In terms of yards per game, he definitely is leading all tight ends because, remember, this is a team now that's already had its bye. So we're at the point where stats don't quite add up. You got 5 games, 4 games, all of that. Jalen Hurts on the season, 68% completions, 930 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks, an 85.7 rating. Been sacked 13 times. He's run for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he has lost. So 4 interceptions, 3 fumbles lost. So he's been responsible for 7 giveaways in 4 games. So you've got to take the football away from him. Saquon Barkley's been unbelievable. Over 100 total yards every game. He's averaging 130 total yards and 1.25 touchdowns per game. 435 yards rushing, 6 yards a carry, 4 rushing touchdowns, 6 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown as well. So very good on offense. They've got a lot of talent. They're the number 5 rushing offense. They're the number 8 total offense. They're averaging 21 first downs a game. That's top 10. Time of possession, 31 minutes, 6 seconds, also top 10 there. They're number 13 on third downs, number 12 on fourth downs. Defensively, they've only got 2 interceptions, both by safety Reed Blankenship, so they've not really taken the football away in that regard. Their turnover margin as a result is -6, 8 giveaways and only 2 takeaways, those 2 picks. They are 29th in the NFL. They have just 6 sacks. We've been sacked more than 6 times in 2 separate games this year. They have 6 sacks through 4 games. They paid a lot of money to Bryce Huff coming off that 10-sack season with the Jets in 23. He doesn't have a single sack this year. They are 22nd in points per game, 24. They're giving up 5 yards a carry on the ground. They're allowing 237 yards passing, 7 touchdowns. They're 24th against pass, 27th total defense overall. Their turnover margin, I mentioned, -6. That's 30th in the league. They have been a good red zone defense, though. Only 8. They're 8th in the league there. Only 7 touchdowns on 16 trips to the red zone. They are middle of the pack on third down. So up front, a couple of big, young first-rounders from Georgia, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. They've got guys who can rush the passer, Josh Sweat. They've got Bryce Huff. They've got Brandon Graham, the ageless wonder in his 15th season out of Michigan. Nolan Smith was their first rounder in 2023 out of Georgia. So they've got a lot of talent. It just hasn't all come together. Zach Bond, their linebacker, has been playing great. He already has a career-high 43 tackles, 2 sacks. He's one of 3 linebackers with more than 40 tackles and more than 2 sacks this season. The back end, they've struggled a little bit. They've got Darius Slay. Reed Blankenship's got the 2 picks. They've got a rookie, Quinyon Mitchell, who was their first rounder out of Toledo. He's been playing a lot and playing pretty well. C.J. Gardner-Johnson not having a great season. Look, it's a talented team. It's a team that probably thinks it's got Super Bowl aspirations as well, and what that ultimately means, we'll find out. They're 2-2. In that game you referenced against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were, I think, down 22-0 and were outscored game.
It was
250 yards to 0 in that one. So they beat Green Bay at home. Actually, in Brazil, week 1, 30. God, that seems like a long time ago. 34-29.
Almost another season, it feels like.
They lost to the Falcons 22-21.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Saints 15-12 in New Orleans in an ugly game, and then they lost to the Bucs. They got boat raced 33-16. They're coming off their bye. They're getting healthy. They've got their pair of 1,000-yard wide receivers back now.
They are a team where the results do not equal the sum of the parts.
No, and that's Nick Sirianni. As a result, Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat.
Yeah, because they should be better than they've been. Even in their wins, they have not been wildly impressive. Kind of an ugly game, as you mentioned, with New Orleans. Their talent level is such, as you were just going through it, it's like, good grief, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they haven't had both receivers, so that's part of it.
Since week 1.
That is a huge part of the offensive stuff. But the way that their defense just got up and down the field with Baker was crazy.
Nuts. They've struggled, like I said, they've struggled to stop the pass so far this season. And, one of the things, look, here's the thing. We've talked about teams that can't stop the run and then we can't run on them. We talk about teams that can't stop the pass and then we haven't been able to pass on them. So we have not been able to take advantage appropriately of things that we have seen from other teams so far this year. That's just, unfortunately, that's the bottom line.
Jalen Hurts, too, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks to start the year.
And 3 fumbles lost.
And 3 fumbles lost, which leads the league. So that isn't what you thought it was going to be a couple of years ago, at least in the start for Jalen Hurts. Howard Handy, official real estate provider of your Cleveland Browns. Exclusive buyer agent is there to help you navigate the field, save time and money, and score the winning touchdown. A new home. Win big with the leader in real estate. Visit howardhanna.com/go Browns today. Coach from the podium coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns fans enter Huntington Bank Field quicker on game day with Express Access presented by Verizon. Also new this year, select concession stands will offer Express Access presented by Bud Light. Enroll for free today. Go to the ticket tabs in the Browns mobile app to learn more. Now we head to the podium presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here is Coach Stefanski.
Okay, starting our
You're down.
for the Eagles. Obviously, good football team, very well coached on all three sides of the ball. Good players up and down the roster. So, had a week of preparation for this one, and we're getting started vain. But I'll take questions.
Kevin, in terms of the guys that aren't practicing today, anybody else that you're sure about? I'm thinking Njoku, maybe Nick, where he's at.
Yeah, I think really with all the guys, and Nick especially, it's really a day-to-day thing. See how they come out of today. Let's see how they do Thursday. Not going to rush any decisions.
On that subject, Kevin, when Jack Conklin got hurt that Friday before the Giants game, he said it was a minor setback.
Right.
So has something happened that exacerbated?
No.
Making this 3
Yeah,
weeks?
like I said, minor setback. He's working hard to make it this week.
Michael Hall, could he be ready for this game?
Could be very similar. I need to see him practice. A lot of these guys, it's for Mike to be the first time practicing, so just want to see him this week before we make any determinations.
Any of the guys that aren't practicing today moving out for Sunday? Ethan, Charlie.
I'd say Charlie's unlikely. The other,
Grant.
We'll see. Yeah, I'd say we'll see on all those guys.
What are the long snapper plans if Charlie's not?
We have a guy who's local who can come help us. Bay Village Rex. Yeah, Rex would be the guy.
Kevin, will you change any play calling operation for this game?
We look at everything every week, Tony, and whether it's scheme, whether it's personnel, whether it's how we call it. So there's things that we've looked at this week and things that we know we can do better. I'm comfortable with the amount of collaboration we have right now on the headset and how we operate, so that won't change. But I do want to emphasize that it's number one, we're constantly looking at things that we can do better. But number two, this is a collective effort from players and coaches to make sure that we are playing better on offense.
Any of the IR guys from week 1 coming back this week?
Yeah, potentially. Yes, we're going to open the practice window and see on a few guys, but it's really hard to make that determination until I see them practice.
But guys will practice today?
Yes.
Here, and you've had some protection problems, et cetera, but there are times where Deshaun just does not look comfortable in the pocket. How can you clean that up?
Yeah, I think there's definitely moments that the pocket's clean and we can deliver from the pocket, and Deshaun has done that and knows that. There's other times that we have to shore it up, and when it comes to pass protection, I think I've told you guys this before, it's not just the offensive line. It can certainly be your running backs and your tight ends. It can be your playing on time in the pass game, so your receivers getting open, those type of things. So it's an area that we have to get better, no doubt. And I think Deshaun understands that as well, and I think he's committed to getting better as well.
When you look at the clips of, I think down there at the end zone when everything got messed up, but Jerry Jeudy was wide open on the left side. How does Deshaun not see that?
Yeah, listen, I know you can take out plays and look at that, and there's obviously plays that Deshaun wants back. There's calls that I want back. That happens in the course of a game. We just have to do our best from a coaching perspective, from a player's perspective, to execute what's out there. But I don't know that it's haven't called a perfect game. I don't think anybody's played a perfect game just yet.
Was there even a thought or a conversation had about possibly sitting Deshaun out this week?
No.
With some of the tackling issues you guys have had on defense, just looking at the Eagles, what is a guy like Saquon Barkley, how's he going to test you with?
Yeah, he's outstanding, actually. He's a player that we have a ton of respect for. You know how dangerous he is with the ball in his hands. He has a unique running style and how he jump cuts, but he also has the speed to hit that gear. I was with Adrian Peterson for a bunch of years. It reminds me of that type of style of running, but he's a great player.
Kevin, the interior, the two Georgia kids, they're not kids, Carter and Davis, just the challenge. I mean, you guys have run just a string of defensive good defensive tackles. What type of challenge do they specifically present, especially when the questions you have are right.
I would tell you they're very, very powerful and disruptive, right in the middle of the pocket in the pass game, right in the middle of what you're doing in the run game. So they do a very nice job schematically of having those guys attack, and they're just big, physical football players. They're good.
When you look at what Jalen Hurts does as quarterback and how he acts under pressure, how can you guys take advantage of that as a defense?
He's outstanding, having watched a lot of his games and just seeing how he operates. He's a threat in multitude of ways, can make every throw, has made every throw. They have talented players on the perimeter. They have a talented tight end. He's a part of their RPO game. When it's not there, he can pull it down and run. So he just operates really well, whether it's pressure, no pressure. He sees it clearly, is a very, very talented young man.
MJ was so good those first few years, and he's had some struggles in the first, handful of games. What have you guys identified as maybe going on there?
Yeah, MJ's a good player. He's played really well for us. It's an occupational hazard in this league. If you're playing corner, you're going to get beat a few times. He bounces back. He has the right mindset. We expect him to make plays for us, and he'll do that.
All right, there you go, Coach from the podium. The Eagles and a trip to Philly coming up on Sunday. So you have that to look forward to, which is nice. Coming up next
Looming
on this,
large.
Looming, very large. Yeah. Did you have a cheesesteak when you guys went there, when you were there for the – Gibby, did you have one?
Of course I did.
Which one did you – where did you –
I went late night. So we had people on the trip that had not been to Philly before. You got to take them to the tourist ones that are across the street
Pat's
from
and
each
Geno's
other.
or whatever, right, yeah.
Sure. I am on a mission this year to go where Coach's favorite spot, because I'm told that there are some spots from a cheesesteak standpoint, they're not touristy, but they are the legit.
Well, you feel like the ones that are touristy were legit at one point.
I would like to think
you know
they've been
what I mean?
around
Like
for
they
40
were.
some
Like,
years,
yeah, if you're going to be
50 some
around
years.
forever. I always felt that way when people go at like Chicago style pizza, and they go at like Uno's or Dewey's or one of those
Lou Malnati's.
Malnati's, yeah, and it's like, well, those are all touristy. Well, yeah, but that's because they were iconic.
Yeah,
Giordano's.
Is that
or something like that?
Yeah,
there's those around here. Isn't there a Giordano's around here?
Outside of Columbus now.
Is there one?
Yeah, I usually stop when I'm coming back from the combine.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but I mean that it's touristy because there's a reason.
Because it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
People wanted to go there.
That's right.
Look, it's a cheesesteak. From
I
a
just
health
think it's-
standpoint, it's not checking the boxes. So you're
what I think's
fine.
crazy about it is that the cheesesteak that and I've never been to Philly. It's a real hole in my resume. I've got to go. I'd like to go.
Interesting.
It's a good town.
I feel like it would be great.
It's a good town.
It's just I've never had a reason. And it feels like when I see a cheesesteak from there, it's got whiz. And when you see a cheesesteak at any other place, like if you order a cheesesteak at your local sub shop, it's provolone. So what is it? That's the thing I don't understand. And then
in
they
Philly,
dip some of them.
In Philly, it's whiz.
It's whiz.
But
so then why outside the world? Why don't they use the
I think
whiz?
it's better because it's better without it. Provolone. I'm not a cheese man, but provolone.
Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, I don't know.
Provolone sounds much better to me.
What did we eat there last year with the Hoff and Luminary of Luminaries?
We went to like a Spanish place and had like a whole goat.
Oh, I love that.
They literally brought it out. I was like, what
like
are we?
skull and all?
It was awesome.
Or just chunks?
No.
It was carved
Oh,
up,
the whole.
but there was a lot.
Was there a skull? Did you see? Look at its eyes as
I don't
you were
believe
eating
so.
it.
I don't recall.
That's a lot for something other than a fish.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's big. I think it was like.
The problem was for the
up.
Luminary and I, like that was the 7th course because Nathan and Joe had eaten 6 other like I was done. No, I'm not saying it. I'm not degrading.
No. What I'm saying is, for the people out there listening, you do not want to try to keep up with Segura and Hoff on eating.
Like they brought the main course out. I was like, I thought that was 3 courses ago. Where's the dessert?
Where are we done yet? Yeah, the first time I had tacos with this guy, he sucked down like 12 in 15 minutes.
Yeah, he got all defensive, but I'm just saying,
Gosh, I've never seen anybody consume
No.
food like it. It's unbelievable.
He and the Hoff when they get together.
You 2 bite a taco.
Oh yeah, it used to blow Deke's mind. Deke would
have a hard time wrapping
all that food on his
Like
plate.
he and Hoff get together, it's like the keymaster and the gatekeeper. We got to keep these two separate.
So here's the crazy thing about that trip. So the night before, Hoff and I went on a bro date to a steakhouse.
Yeah.
That was very good, and he, no joke, it was like entrees were on the right, apps were on the left. He ordered the left. He's like, yes,
all apps.
He's like, that side of the menu, yes. I'm like,
It was insane.
Oh my goodness! And then
That
he was
trip-
like drinking like a lager.
Oh,
and dude, he can suck. He orders them like. Remember, he was ordering them like
I
2
bet
and
he
3
can.
at a time.
Yes,
because he's
he
like,
can
I don't
suck
want
down beer like
Yeah, yeah. We did that, and then we went there, and then the last night, me, Hoff, and Chris Rose went to like an Thai place, Asian fusion, but it wasn't. I don't know if it was much fusion. It was the chef had just been named won the James Beard Award for the best chef in the Mid Atlantic.
Oh wow! So he was.
And we got in there. So we called and they're like, yeah, no. But then Hoff knew Colleen Wolfe, and that was Colleen Wolfe's town, and I guess she's plugged in. All of a sudden, boom! Hoff calls, we get a reservation.
Of course, yeah.
And we went. It was one of the greatest meals of my entire life.
That's awesome.
Kalika or Kalia, something like that.
We're in that same area again.
It was good. Are we at the same hotel?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. All right, we will attempt to guess the scores with Dr. Z coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Are you ready to give your home the facelift it deserves? Renew Home Exteriors. They've got the deal you've been waiting for right now. No money down. Get 0% interest for 5 years. All roofing and siding jobs. Combine your roofing and siding projects, and Renew is going to take an additional 5% off. That's right. No money down. 0% interest. 5 years. 5% off when you knock off both jobs at once. Don't wait. Upgrade your home. Save big with Renew Home Exteriors. Visit RenewEstimate.com to book today. Renew Home Exteriors, superior products, and superior service. Tell them both sent you, and they'll take care of you on that side of things. My man, you ready for or guess the score.
Trying to get to 3-3 on the season.
You need it. We're going to start on Thursday night football.
It'll be a tough week for him.
You think it's going to be a tough week?
I do.
I think it'll be okay. I think looking at these, I think he's going to be okay. All right, Thursday night football. It is your beloved San Francisco 49ers at Seattle. Niners at Seahawks. Thursday night football.
Niners -3.
Got it. Niners -3.5. Let's go. We head to London Sunday, 9:30 a.m.
By the way, the Bears are already there.
Makes sense.
I don't know. Like, we didn't go till Thursday
Yeah, but
night.
didn't the team we played the last time go like way out in advance? Jacksonville did that last year. They went out
Minnesota,
way in advance. Minnesota
would go like Monday or Tuesday, so I guess. But
yeah, I don't know. It is at 9:30. Tottenham Hotspur. It is Jaguars at Bears. Jaguars versus Bears, rather.
The Bears. -2.
Got it. I think he's going to
Wow.
I think he's going perfect
All
this
right.
slate. I think he's going perfect. All right, we're in the 1 o'clock window on Sunday. 1 o'clock window Sunday. We're going to start in Green Bay, where the Arizona Cardinals are coming to town to take on the Green Bay
It's a fun
Packers. It is fun. Frisky cards. Frisky.
Green Bay -3.
Green Bay -5.
Whoa. That's bigger than I would have thought.
I agree. I agree with you on that. Staying in the 1 o'clock window.
So much for going perfect.
The Fighting Yellowstones, the Indianapolis Colts, at the Tennessee Titans. So I assume this is Flacco and Levis. So Flacco and a Levis, I would think.
Colts minus. Tennessee just won their last game, though, coming off of a bye, right? They beat Miami, and then they were on a bye.
Yeah. Yeah, they're coming off a bye. Colts at
Colts are the favorites. I don't know if it's going to be 3, 2.5, 2, or 1.5. Or 1.
Or 7.5.
Colts -2.
Colts -1.
welcome back.
Texans without Nico Collins at Patriots and Drake May making his first start. Texans at Patriots. C.J. Stroud, Drake May.
Texans
No Nico.
-7.
Got it exactly.
I'm surprised that score hasn't moved.
Give it a
Nico
minute.
Collins isn't moving the line, I don't think.
No, maybe a half point probably is about it. Buccaneers at Saints. Buccaneers at Saints. Could be a Spencer Rattler. Bacon the boys.
Bacon the boys got there Tuesday.
Yeah,
in advance of the hurricane.
By the way, as a quick aside, is southwestern Florida now like just unlivable? Like you'd have to reconsider.
Yes.
I mean, so they got pummeled. Was it last year?
3 years ago with Hurricane Ian destroyed Fort Myers
crushed.
Beach.
Oh, yeah, 3 years ago.
It nuked it.
Nuked it. And then you get hit with the one, was it Irene or whatever, 2 weeks ago? And then
Helene
Helene, and now
yeah.
Milton. And this one's supposed to be
This
worse.
one's-
Like it's hitting the exact same area again. Like it's like at some point, I got all sorts of buddies down there. And I know a bunch of
Me
people
too.
from up
Sad.
here. They go down there and they have vacation homes and all that stuff. But like at
Yeah,
some
we're
point, you
watching.
kind of got to push your chips in and say, this
Arizona,
ain't
New
it,
Mexico,
man.
baby.
No, I know it. I'm with you. I think people are sleeping on that. I think the only reason that more people don't go there is it's tougher to get to.
Yeah.
Takes longer.
Yeah.
But you also have to deal with that type of stuff, man.
No, you do not. I did read something that was funny that they're saying, like, if you want people to evacuate, you got to start calling them, like, hurricane, like, destruction force 2024 versus Milton.
Yeah. Why did they name them to begin with? Like, who decided we needed to name hurricanes and make them give them persona?
I don't know. Here comes a hurricane.
Here comes a hurricane.
It's Category 4.
The end.
Leaf.
That's all we know. Get out.
Yeah. What was it? Tampa Bay at New Orleans?
At New Orleans.
And can I ask one question?
Yeah, you
Would
can.
you say that you feel like it is representative of no Derek Carr?
No. To me, it feels like I don't know. You might view it that it does. To me, it feels like
I would say here. Let me
Carr's
let me
playing.
give this as a baseline.
Okay.
If Derek Carr's playing, I think it's like somebody by 1 or pick 'em like in that area.
Okay. And the otherwise, you think Rattler?
If it's bigger than that on Tampa side, obviously, definitely, I feel like Rattler.
Well, then I'm going to give you a pretty good lean because it's not what you said.
Okay.
So I guess to your standards, it feels like Rattler's playing it.
Bucks.
For you, it would. Although to me, I think this is what it would be if Carr was playing.
Bucks minus 3.5.
Got it exactly. Yeah. I think it would be that if Carr was playing. 3 Bucks by 3. I don't think New Orleans any good. I think they a little bit of fool's gold there early with them.
Sure.
Okay. Browns at Eagles. You would have had to have seen this one.
And at first I was like insulted, and then I was like, how could I be insulted by this line? So what I saw was, and I'd like to get the one that I saw right, 9.
Niner. Yep.
Sunday night it was like 5.5.
That's all right. Commies at Baltimore, gentlemen. This is a fun one. Jaden Daniels.
Is the total 60?
51.5.
51.5?
That's it? Ooh. Pump that up.
Yeah. This is a fun one. This would be one to watch in the early window. This is probably my favorite game in the early window. This has got to be, is this Nance Romo or is this either that or it's
the Ravens get like so much crazy respect in Vegas.
Brady? Is this a Brady game?
So I think this is Vegas zony. I'm going to say Ravens minus 5.
Ravens minus 6.5, which I think is too
That
big.
is way too
Nance Romo Wolfson on this one.
That's good
on the
game.
Ravens. Ian, Charles, and Washburner, Squealers, Raiders.
Jeez.
I don't know why.
Why?
Texans, Patriots is Harlan's team. Spiro gets Colts.
Where's Brady? Lions at Cowboys? It's calling the Cowboys again?
Let me look up Fox.
Well, they have Lions-Cowboys. That's it. That's your national game of the week.
Who's doing our game?
Well, don't forget.
Who's doing our game?
National.
Bootsy
Yeah.
is doing our game.
I'm doing
Jonathan
You are
Vilma's
too.
crew again.
Bootsy and Beamsy are going to do our game. It's got to be Lions-Cowboys. That's got to be Brady. Brady's done it Cowboys like 4 to 5 times.
No, you have to remember this.
Yeah,
National Game of the Week moves up to 1 because of baseball playoffs on Fox. If it's
So
a
you're
Fox
telling
week.
me that, okay, but I'm telling you Lions-Cowboys, that's got Brady written all over it in the 4 o'clock window. Or
I'm
Nance
telling you,
Romo. That's the biggest
no.
game of the weekend from a rating standpoint.
Stand by.
All right. In the
right,
meantime,
let's not get
Chargers
distracted.
at Denver.
I like
Chargers
that we
at
rattled
Denver.
them a little bit.
Chargers. I like that we rattled it. Chargers at Denver.
Chargers minus 2.5.
You got it. It's minus 3.
Really rattled him.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about it either. I just didn't think they were ready to favor the Broncos.
Yeah,
just
their
yet.
defense might be just good enough that it gets favored on its own. This is one. Boy, this is cool for Steelers fans. So they not only get the Cowboys matchup last week, this week they get the matchup at Raiders. So Steelers-Raiders is always a very clean uniform matchup, and you're going to get that out in Las Vegas. Steelers at Raiders. Home game for the Steelers. They will invade.
Steelers minus 3.5.
Got it. Steelers minus 3.
Burkhart, Brady, Andrews, Lions, Cowboys.
I believe I had that. Lions at Cowboys.
Yeah. Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, and Megan Olivi.
Okay.
Browns, Eagles.
There's no chance that. So Brady has done Cowboys every week but one.
Yes. And that's only because it was Thursday night.
And that was it. Yeah, they've sent him on Cowboys every time. So they're doing everything they can to get him to rate out. Lions at Cowboys.
Lions minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you it's Lions minus 3. What you've already won. Good job to you. Here's the thing I don't understand. Normally, so that tells me that they think the Lions are going to bury them. Because usually those lines, because of the Cowboys' favorabilities, go the other way. Like they really protect themselves against Dallas. So the fact that the Lions are favored by 3 tells me that they think Detroit's going to win by like 10. Falcons at Panthers.
Falcons minus 6.5.
It's 6. I think it should be higher. I know it's the red rifle out there.
Did you guys do Chargers Broncos?
We
did.
did.
I miss that?
We did. You're
you're pretending that you don't hear when I'm 9-3. I like that.
No, I heard him say you won for the week.
He was feverish. You were feverishly trying to confirm that Burkhardt and Brady were calling Lions and Cowboys. Sunday night football. It is the Bengals of Cincinnati at the New York Football Giants.
Bengals a minus
Gross.
3.5.
Got it exactly.
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
You're rolling. This is
Should be a good week for the scores.
It should be a great
Last
week
week
for
was
the
any
scores.
indication.
Finally, Monday Night Football, Bills and Jets. Bills and Jets.
Bills minus, well, they've been, I was going to go 7, but they've been battered the last 2 weeks. You know what? Saying 3.5's been working. Bills minus 3.5.
Close, but no, 2.5.
Oh, so I was way off.
Yeah, so your original thought was way off. Still a great week out of you.
10
A
and
nice
4.
10 and 4.
All right, 3-3 on the year.
Stack another dub for you. The Chiefs, Ramets, Dolphins, and Vikings. That's odd. None of those are in the same division.
Yeah, Chiefs, Ramets, Dolphins, Vikings.
4 different divisional representatives there. How about it? All right, there you go. Fill your game day cooler with the refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, real brewed tea, 5% kick of alcohol. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink it responsibly. Do a little higher or lower. This is a fun one. We'll do it coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Back for another season from your favorite four-legged companion this year, year 3 of Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, the fan club for dogs. View membership options and join today at barkingbackers.com. Time for a little game we like to call higher or lower, better or worse, ranking NFL cities. Gibby, I like it.
Ranking NFL cities for a football road trip.
Okay, so does road trip?
Yes.
Does road trip mean you have to drive there?
No.
Okay. So you can fly? So
yeah,
can we take that into our ranking? So in other words, like I can either fly or drive, whichever I see fit?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to hop on the Madden Cruiser.
What is
take it
so? What is the criteria here? Quality of
it's completely
fun in the
subjective.
City, restaurants, hotels.
It might be
all
totally
of it?
different.
This
it's totally in the eye of the beholder.
The South Florida Sun Sentinel's Dave Hyde.
Good
It
for
ended
him.
up on Yahoo. The G-Man stumbled upon it.
I like it. I like that this guy did something like this.
Most power rankings involve quarterbacks sizing up teams, picking winners on the road to the Super Bowl. This is different. This is how sports writers really rank schedules. What are the best NFL road trips and the worst?
Okay.
This guy's been to every NFL stadium and many that no longer exist. I've been to NFL cities that have come and gone. I don't know if there's any other.
Very cool flex.
An NFL road trip doesn't get ranked simply by the game experience. It involves the full subjective palette of a city and football mixed with travel and weather issues.
Okay, then I don't believe him.
Okay.
I don't believe him
All
based
right.
on his
now
number
you're
one.
calling him a liar. Okay.
I don't believe him based on his. I mean, because this is what we think of this, so it doesn't even really,
Sure.
It doesn't. No. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Gibby.
We'll kick off higher or lower right now. Hit it.
Better, higher, or lower?
My bad. Finger slip. My bad. My bad.
It doesn't feel like it. Feels like
you got it right.
Yeah.
Is this a better road trip or a worser road trip?
That's really what it should be. Yeah.
Maybe Kevin was sick yesterday. Maybe he was faking it, and today's his last day on the board.
Like a true higher road trip. There's several states here that provide you with a
Gibby.
higher road trip.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gibby.
The number one road trip on this gentleman's list is a trip to the Midwest, the middle of the country, America's heartland, Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is the must-do trip for a football aficionado. Step back in sepia-tone time to the frozen tundra at Lambeau Field. Get cheese curds, park in someone's yard, walk to the stadium in a small-town neighborhood. It's the only place in the NFL where if it snows, it's a bonus. The only drawback is getting there from anywhere, or maybe that's what keeps it great. Lower or just right? Yes, Bo Bishop.
Before we answer, I just was thinking of this off in the top of my head. Are the only three, and this one's been renovated a lot, but I guess the other two have too. Are the only three like original, iconic, you just got to see it, are the only three left Wrigley, Fenway, and Lambeau? Has everything else been replaced in terms of stuff that's been around? I mean, Soldier Field's still there, but it's unrecognizable.
Yeah, they put a spaceship on top of it.
Is there
Stupid.
is there anything else I'm missing? College football's got a ton of them.
Yeah.
College basketball's got a ton of them. Like Cameron is Cameron.
It's amazing.
There's these amazing places. I don't know if there are anything other than those three left in professional sports. From an NBA standpoint, they've all been replaced.
Maybe Chavez Ravine.
That's probably getting there because that's the
Yeah.
50s. I mean, you're probably right. Probably Dodger Stadium is in that mix too. So probably those four that are largely unchanged.
From an NFL standpoint,
there's nothing NFL-wise. They've all been replaced.
No, Washington
Even the
sucks.
70s multi have been replaced.
The only one of those that you've mentioned that I haven't been to Chavez Ravine. I have not been to Fenway. Boston's
The only
a big
one-
hole in my resume. I have never
Really?
been to Beantown.
Oh, you'd like that.
Of course I would.
Yeah, you'd like that a lot. Yeah. Boston's great.
I know.
I would say I have not been to Lambeau, so I can't speak.
It's an amazing experience.
to-
I've been there
I've
as a
heard that.
fan and
Yeah.
in a work capacity.
It's awesome.
It is. But I think that you cannot say that your rankings consider all of the things they consider and then have a football really only specific experience be number one. Because there's no other reason you'd go to Green Bay. Like, ideally, if I could do Packers, here's how I would do a Packers road trip. I would fly the day of, have it work out to the point where I could land and go to the place and then fly out.
See,
I don't want to spend the night in Green Bay.
I can top that.
Yeah.
It starts Saturday, Badger game, and
So, but
then you go to Lambeau.
That's different, though. That's a different. Now you're adding experiences.
Yep.
Like
You're
that's
just
not an
going
NFL
strictly
road
for
trip.
a Packer game.
That's not an NFL road trip.
Well,
though.
that's what he's saying. You're
so
going for the-
essentially,
yes.
that'd be like saying going to Cincinnati or going to Cleveland, hit a Buckeye game on Saturday. Like that's a totally different experience. If you're just talking about a football road trip, I don't see how this could be number one.
It's so far down. It's not even. It's so far down.
Yeah.
Hard to get to. Stadium is cool. Then you've seen it.
Yeah. Then it's just football stadium.
There's not for my style of if I'm going on a road and like now we're talking about the town and we're talking about food, all of it. There's nothing that is exciting for me to wet my beak on. Cheese curds, disgusting.
Yeah, you hate that. It's not for you at all.
Absolutely gross.
Gibby,
I
do
live for
you
'em.
revere it so much because of the cheese curds and that spotted cow stuff you drink?
I just think the atmosphere, like
It's that great.
There's a football game, but there's just everybody's got two goals. One, drink as much alcohol as humanly possible,
The
and
American
two,
way.
enjoy football. And by the way, it's a
bombed,
noon
fight some people.
kick. So then you're done at 3, and they have this giant 100-yard tent outside in the parking lot, and you just sit there and drink and watch football all the late games. It's a pretty great setup.
It sounds like a college experience to me.
It is.
Yes,
That's what it sounds like to me.
100%.
Sounds like you're describing like going to state college for a Penn State game.
Yeah.
Next.
Higher or lower?
There you go, Kev. Good job.
I wanted to have a little fun, you know?
Yeah, yeah, real fun. Number 2 on the list was Los Angeles. I don't know. He considers it a great trip. The stadium is off the charts nice with its canopy top. Number 1, I don't think so. And the people that work there call it a $6 billion blankety blank.
Yeah.
Stay in Santa Monica and you dodge the awful traffic for a quick trip to the stadium. That's a football weekend, he says. Higher or lower, just right for Los Angeles.
Go ahead. I'll go to you, Dr. Z.
Nathan.
It is a great trip. LA's great.
LA's great.
You're going to Santa Monica, especially you go to Santa Monica. Now, you're still going to have plenty of traffic in and out of that stadium. It's impossible to get in and out of. I can say that I've gone there not only with the football team, I've gone there for WrestleManias. It is not. It's bad. Yeah, that's up there. I mean, it's in my top 5 because it's LA. LA's great. You're in Santa Monica. You're gonna have a great meal.
It doesn't matter if there's a football game. LA's great.
Right.
Like so,
the football's a bonus.
See,
football's
I don't
a bonus,
share
so that's
that
not a
same
football
feeling.
experience.
I think LA's just a dump. I think it's dirty. I don't like it. I like Huntington Beach a little further down. I got a buddy that lives there.
So
That's
Huntington
nice.
Beach, of the beach communities around
Santa
Los
Monica's
Angeles.
a dump. Is
Santa
that
Monica? Yeah.
I'm not a huge
Manhattan
fan.
Beach. You been?
You're not a fan of Santa
Laguna?
Monica?
Can I interest you in a little Laguna?
I haven't been to Laguna other than what I watched on MTV back in
You ought to go down there once.
Yeah, I bet
That's
you.
pretty good.
Well,
little
I don't
Malibu.
think I can go there now.
Yeah,
Maybe
Malibu?
a couple years ago.
Pacific Palisades?
Malibu.
Brentwood? Not for Gibby. It's
No.
a dump.
I don't like LA. I think it's
I love
a dirty
LA.
city.
I think
It's
LA's
LA.
great. I think it's awesome.
People write songs to that
yeah.
effect.
I love LA. Yeah.
We love it.
That's right.
Yeah, LA's top 5.
I just think it's hard because it's like I don't even care. If I go there, I don't know that I would care to go to a football game. There's other things I would do in LA. I don't know that I need to go to a
Yeah,
football game.
I
It'd be
think
kinda
their
like a
fan
bonus.
bases would agree with you, given the attendance.
Well, and also Kroenke did what he could
That
to
guy.
keep his team in the best possible standing. If they were trying to do right by fans, they would be the Los Angeles Raiders. The problem is then he would be overshadowed in his own building, and from a merchandise standpoint. But if the LA Raiders were in Los Angeles,
At
you would have a
SoFi?
fan base.
Yeah.
You'd have your fan base. Yeah.
Next,
Higher or lower?
he has South Florida as number
no
3.
chance. This is a no chancer. This isn't. So what this is this isn't a football road trip. This is a place to vacation and a football game is happening. That stadium is in a brutal spot.
Agreed.
It is the worst.
Agreed.
It sucks.
Yes.
You don't. It's a long ways from where you want to be. And honestly, like if I were down there, and I were at whether it was Miami Beach or Key Biscayne or wherever, any of the other beaches,
Hollywood,
Lauderdale,
anywhere.
whatever. And I was sitting at the beach and somebody said on a Sunday, hey, do you want to go to the Dolphins game? Nah, I'm good.
By the way, it can also be absurdly hot.
Yes.
Absurdly hot in that stadium.
Yeah. No, this is not 3.
No, it's
There's
not
no
even
way
close.
This is 3.
He actually says the Dolphins have been first class in the Steve Ross era and everything but what fans worry about the most. That includes the top-of-the-line stadium
I don't think it
experience.
is.
I haven't been there since they put the canopies over it, so I'm sure that helps.
No.
No,
But
not on the one side.
No.
Okay,
Not
that
on
stadium's
your
a dump.
visitor side. Not
It's
at
a
all.
dump.
I also have. There are very few stadiums that I've gone into as a fan, so that's a hard. Perhaps it is a better experience than we are aware of. I've only gone to them either
they have
working or
clubs
for a
there.
big
It's a
wrestling show.
club.
Yeah,
It's a dance club, and then
It's
by
in
the
a
way, there's a
brutal-
football game as a
It's
background.
an awful location.
No, I would. It needs to be. It's worse than New Orleans. It's worse than Denver. It's worse than Nashville. It's worse than Vegas. It's worse than Phoenix. Where does he have Phoenix on this list?
The only problem with Phoenix is it's a little bit of a hike to the stadium from where you want to stay.
He says it in 18. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me an absolute break, my friend.
I think, South. It's just way too.
I think
high.
the list
Way
we
too
would
high.
make is better than this guy's list. That's what I
agree.
think.
Yeah.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Can you guys imagine when they were and I know you guys know this, but for our audience, if you fly into Miami and you see the baseball stadium, you got to fly right over it. You
Right
drive
over
right
it.
by it.
Yeah.
That's where the Orange Bowl used to be.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So imagine if the Dolphins, they gave that real estate to the Marlins, not the University of Miami, not the Dolphins. Dolphins already built their stadium outside. Obviously, they built Joe Robbie years ago. But they had the land of where to put it, where it could have had all of that, and you blew
Screwed it up.
You blew it, boy.
Well, and even the basketball arena's in a cool spot. Come over the bridge. The arena's right there.
Yeah. Come on.
So
Hey.
the rest of the top 10 is New Orleans at 4, Vegas at 5, Chicago at 6, 7 Denver, 8 Seattle, 9 Nashtucky, 10 Pittsburgh.
So I have a soft spot in my heart for New Orleans. Here's what I'll say about New Orleans. It has I think it's almost kind of like the perfect football road trip. They love the Saints. It's walkable. There is great
Orleans is
food
great.
and entertainment
Yes.
on a 24. I think it's the perfect 24-hour city or 48-hour city.
It's great.
You fly in, you eat like a king.
Yep.
You have great music, great culture, whatever you want, and they love their teams. So you have a cool football experience too. They are diehard Saints there.
Oh yeah.
So
Saints come marching in.
Yeah, they do. So I think New Orleans. He has them at 4, which is a nice number. But in terms of a football road trip, that seems like one that is. That's high. That should.
I would definitely put New Orleans ahead of L.A.
Yeah, two totally different
I have no
experiences.
problem with that.
I don't know how you could compare the two.
I don't have a
Where
problem with that.
where does he have Dallas on this?
He's got Indy at 11, Buffalo at 12. Buffalo at 12. What are you doing? Jacksonville at 13.
23rd.
Arms of
Jacksonville
America.
at 13.
23rd. That's an out. Baltimore at 25. Baltimore's awesome.
Baltimore is awesome. Yeah, you can stay right downtown.
stay
You have the
right
Inner
in
Harbor.
Harbor. Great food, and the same's right there.
Yeah, that's easy. That's cool, and they love the Ravens.
That's an outrageous one.
He had New York at 14.
Where's Dallas?
23rd.
Oh, come on. Come on.
We were 22.
This guy's list has some.
I think we're actually a really good place to come watch a game from opposing stand.
Yeah.
You are downtown. You can walk where you need to on the stadium. There's great food. You got the Rock Hall if you want to tie that into it. You got the Pro Football Hall of Fame if you want to tie that into it. So you could do Dream Football Weekend thing if you flew in here on a Saturday. I think it's a very nice football road trip.
Once we get a dome, it's gonna be unreal.
San Francisco at 16. I've not been, but I do know that area a little bit enough to know that it's not anywhere near where I'd want to
Nothing.
stay.
No.
Nothing.
I
That
would
would be
stay in
nothing.
San Francisco.
Yes, but then that's a
and
pain.
then you got to try and hoof it down there. That's
a pain.
tough.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Kansas City was 19. It's a tough one because I like Kansas City. I think the city's actually really cool. I think it's got a great food scene. It's got a great.
It's really
nightlife.
cool if you want to know what it was like to live in Eastern Bloc Soviet Union.
No color.
No color, all concrete buildings.
wild,
It's
isn't it?
insane.
Yeah.
Like that
It's
somebody chose to
hurricane
do it
proof
that
in the
way?
middle of the country.
It's
great.
Awful looking.
I don't.
Tampa
interesting.
Bay was 17.
Tampa should be way higher than that.
I don't
Tampa's a
understand.
great football
He's
town.
got Jacksonville 13. I don't understand that.
Tampa Stadium is right by the airport. It's close to getting into downtown. You've got water. You've got fun and frivolity. You've got nightlife. You've got good food.
He doesn't like Minneapolis either,
which is
great, and they love the Vikings.
Love the Vikings.
The
Great
stadium's
experience.
awesome. The Skull.
Yeah.
There's a
Skull.
bunch of hotels you can stay in that are all connected via those tunnels.
Walkways, yeah.
So these are his last. These are his bottom 6. Because remember, like New York's got 2 teams, LA's got 2,
Yeah.
so he only has 30, obviously. Atlanta is 25.
I think Atlanta's a good town.
I've had a good time.
Atlanta's got 3 downtown. I mean, they got 3.
Yeah, maybe because it's so
huge
spread
cities.
out.
Yeah.
Washington is 26th. I mean, simply from the stadium standpoint, I would get that. The fan experience is not all that.
It's terrible. Houston should be way down the list, too.
Houston's 27.
Just because it's so annoying to go to the airport from that stadium.
Yep.
It's forever to get there.
Yep. I think Houston, frankly, should be number 30 on this list.
Philly 28 seems very disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
Same. I'll be honest. I think Philly 28, Cincy 29, Detroit 30 are awful. Detroit, you can go in, stay in one of the nice hotels that are right there.
Yeah.
There are good restaurants right there.
Yeah.
And then you go to the game and you're out of there easy. If you want to zip over into Windsor at night,
easy.
Go through the tunnel.
Records red. Let's go.
Cincy, you go to Cincy. You can stay at a charming downtown hotel.
Yeah.
You go to Jeff Ruby's.
Yeah, pick one of his restaurants.
You get a great steak.
Precinct, wherever you want to go.
You go to the game, and then you're out of there easy.
Great
Whether it's
food
plane
scene,
or driving, easy.
Yeah.
The stadium itself is trash.
Right.
But it's a good environment.
Yeah. They support their team.
Like, where's
Pittsburgh was 10.
See, how's Pittsburgh ahead of there? Just because they play Renegade? 10 somehow never made it on any of our
Maybe
pages.
it's the nachos.
Gibbs, how did your beloved Steel City fall so low on this?
Yeah, it feels sad.
I mean, you're number 1 overall. I don't understand that.
I hate you. It's 244. You can go straight to hell. The Cincinnati disrespect, because that city's come a long way in the 12 years I've been doing this.
Yeah.
Like, you got there back in the day, and it was like, all right, so we're going to order a pizza, and we're going to go to O'Malley's in the alley.
Yep.
And now it's like great food scene, great little bar scene down on the river. It's you can walk everywhere. It's quite nice.
How many of these, when you go, because there's so many of these are like vacation destinations too. Like, so that's kind of the mix of it. Like, I've not been to Indy for a Colts game. I've been to Indy for about a billion other
it's good in
things.
there.
My friends love it.
I like
Yeah.
it. Indy's great. Here you go.
Indy's
Indy,
awesome.
you got
It's
Elmo's, easy.
You can walk everywhere. I would think it would be pretty great. Buffalo, I think, would probably be difficult to get to. Would that be the only negative there?
Buffalo should be way down. I love Duff's.
You got it
I
way
love the
high.
wings. I
It's
love
12.
all that history, but your stadium is in the middle of
dumb,
nowhere.
And there's
Nothing there.
I haven't found, and I've gone on, like we go and you go to the nicer restaurants in
Sure.
town. I was not all that impressed with Buffalo's offerings.
Yeah.
No.
The only place I liked is when we went with
Notorious.
with the Don Victor
Well,
Carucci.
that's a little
at some,
different, I
like-
suppose.
Boy, it wasn't.
I bet.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's a little bit different. So much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And be sure to catch the Browns preview show. It's presented by Tostitos tonight from 7 to 8 on the University Hospital's Cleveland Browns radio network. Corey Bjorquez and play-by-play voice Andrew Siciliano going to join Ken and Gerard right here on 850 ESPN Cleveland for that. Coming up next, Guardians and Tigers, Game 3 from Detroit.
Go Guards. Let's go. Win the game. Or as my friend Joey would say, win the match.
Win the match?
Yeah.
Be fun. Get one and then get the lead and then see if you can get a little ALCS and keep this magic rolling a little bit, my friend.
Hey, where are the Yankees at?
1-1.
1-1.
They got Kansas City in KC tonight. Pine Tar incident. Old school. Royals Yanks. History for the kids out there. Enjoy the game, kids. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.